Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On Wednesday, President Uhuru Kenyatta led the country in celebrating Mashujaa Day in Kirinyaga County. That event was significant, politically speaking, for two main reasons. Number one, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, were going to meet for the first time in a long time, just days after the DP had called the president Tapeli. So it was significant. Kenyans were waiting to see how the two gentlemen were going to behave. They were shocked that the two gentlemen were easy at each other. Number two, it's also the final event, national celebration, the president was going to preside on in the larger Mount Kenya region. Remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta decided that national events were going to be held in different counties in this country. So that was going to be the last event national event the president was going to preside on as the president of the Republic of Kenya in the larger Mount Kenya region. So Kenyans were again waiting to hear the message which the president was going to relay to the people of the larger Mount Kenya region. And to those who support the handshake, they had two main expectations. The first expectation was that the president was going to issue or talk about 2022 politics. Again, the president did not talk about or did not issue any directive towards 2022. Number two, the handshake supporters also expected that, just like it happened in Kisumu, President Ruto Kenyatta was going to invite Raila Odinga to speak, and therefore breaking the protocol the way they did in Kisumu. And that's why when the program was issued, most Kenyans were eager to see whether Raila Odinga was listed as one of the speakers. His name was missing, so the expectation was that the president was actually going to invite him, but that did not happen. The person who invited Raila Odinga to speak was Governor Anne Waiguru. So those two expectations did not happen. But why do I strongly believe that the Deputy President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, actually outwitted President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga in Kirinyaga? The way the Deputy President was received shocked everybody. Of course, the Deputy President is still the king when it comes to the larger Mount Kenya politics. And in Kirinyaga, that was proved. But why did that happen? It happened because of five main reasons. And I want you guys to pay close attention to me very closely. And by the way, I want to apologize. Yesterday, I could not make a video. You all know that my father arrested and will be buried on 30th. So a lot of things are going on. And being the first son there, it's actually hectic on me. But because he loved whatever I'm doing, I'm pushing on. I don't want to, like I was reading some comments on Facebook, on YouTube. People were asking me why I've not talked about the event in Kirinyaga. So I felt that it's just fair for me to bring to you what I know. Now, these are the reasons why the DP succeeded. Number one is the ground mobilization. Let's face it, Anne Waiguru is the governor for Kirinyaga. As we speak today in this country, Anne Waiguru has shifted to William Samoei Ruto's camp. Previously, Anne Waiguru was pro-President Uhuru Kenyatta and pro-Raila Odinga. And I've always said on this channel that you should never underrate the powers of governors. So Anne Waiguru and her supporters, let's say the village administrators alone, were enough to mobilize the ground for the DP. And I want to believe that that's why the DP was received with that kind of wild cheers. Anne Waiguru wanted to prove a point. If you leave Anne Waiguru, there's the women rep, Girishi. Girishi is trying to lean towards the president. But so far, she has not given very clear signals to her supporters that she's planning to dump the DP. There's no clear signal. And the fact that most of our supporters are supporters of the DP as we speak, it means if you had these two combinations in a crowd of 5,000 people, then Ruto had just to be received the way he was received. So that's number one, the ground mobilization. The other question is, who mobilized the crowd? Is it Karanja Kibicho? Did Karanja Kibicho use the provincial administration to vet those who are entering that event? I don't think that happened. And that's why he was in this constant meeting with Ngirishi and Waiguru just to quell the tensions between these two people so that when they go to the field, nothing was going to happen. So the fact is that this time around, the provincial administration did not identify those who are pro-President Uhuru Kenyatta or even pro-Raila Odinga to fill the stadium. So the ground was actually mobilized by Waiguru and Girichi, and because these two are now supporting the DP, it goes without saying that whoever they invited to this event had to cheer on the DP. That's number one. Number two, why the DP also carried the day, in my view, is the fact that President Uhuru Kenyatta failed to talk about 2022 politics. If there's one thing which the president ought to have talked about for Raila Odinga to be assured was about the politics of 2022. By failing to talk about 2022 politics, what has happened is that those who support the DP now believe that the president is not going to support anybody. Because remember, President Uhuru Kenyatta made a promise to the president. President Uhuru Kenyatta made a promise to his deputy that he was going to support his deputy in 2022. DP supporters believed that the president was going to support. Then the handshake came, and then there was this window where people were in denial that President Uhuru Kenyatta is probably playing Raila and the rest. And then it reached a point where now it was clear that the handshake was so strong and that President Uhuru Kenyatta and the DP are now done completely. The fact that he did not talk about 2022 now gave those allies of the DP, and I was listening to Rigathi Gachagua on TV, he was very proud of the president for failing to talk about 2022. They had expected that the president was going to talk about 2022. If the president had talked about 2022, in a way suggesting that he was not going to support his deputy, then things would have been different. The headline, the videos going live, now the narrative would have been different. And that's why I believe the DP carried the day. Number three, I also think that William Samoei Ruto understood the ground so well. He listened to, probably prior to this meeting, what the ground was saying. And that's why when he was given the chance to speak, the DP began by invoking the memory of 2013 and again the memory of 2017. He also understood that the people of the larger Mount Kenya region are against his abuse of the president. He came straight from Mombasa, where he abused the president as Tapeli, and then came to Kirinyaga, heaped praises on the president, on how President Uhuru Kenyatta has achieved A, has achieved B, has achieved D, and has achieved F. In Mombasa, he was against that. So he knew that if he were to bring those politics on the ground, maybe the ground would not have received him the way he wanted. So the DP understood the ground in Kirinyaga so well, so that whatever he was saying was resonating so well with the people who attended that function. Number four, I also believe that the DP also knew so well that that was the last opportunity he was going to get and probably share a podium with President Uhuru Kenyatta in the larger Mount Kenya region. And therefore, he had to do everything possible to make sure that the message is home. What do you think would have happened if the DP, for example, was not cheered the way he was? What would the Team Kieleweke doing today? They would be talking about that particular event. But the fact that the DP realized that that was the last opportunity, he made good use of it, and he managed then to silence Tim Kieleweke. Raila Odinga was given the opportunity to speak. I don't know whether his speech was the best. I don't think so. And lastly is the messaging. William Ruto's message was very clear. Raila Odinga focused on the history. The current generation of voters in this country don't care about those history. Of course, there are some who are interested in knowing the history. There are those mature people who would want, like I was reading online, when Raila Odinga reminded Kenyans how Uhuru Kenyatta's mother was also detained, something which most Kenyans didn't know. Kenyans were really shocked. While he was focusing on the history, William Ruto was focusing on the future, the economy, things which these young people wanted to hear. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. By the way, I want to thank you guys so much for the support you guys have given me towards the funeral expense for my dad. I didn't know that I'm making great impact on this channel. Today alone, I met 2 people. You know, I was coming from home, driving, I was very tired. Then I branched at some petrol station. I met this lady, probably in her 60s, something there. She was, "Are you Lee?" "Yes." Then she told me, "You know, we follow your channel religiously, me and my husband. But we've not seen you for the past few days. Probably because I've reduced I've reduced my engagements a bit. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart." I met also another watchman in Kachok. Is it Mega City? Ile ya Kachok, ile ya Nyalenda. The guy was not sure whether this is the guy. He followed me, and then I told him, okay. Then I removed my mask, okay. Then he was so happy. So that's the impact. And that love, I can't compare it to anybody. I've been receiving a lot of support from people I don't know. And some tell me that, "Lee, we are doing this because you keep us going. You keep us going, you keep us informed." When I began this, I never thought that was the direction. But I'm so happy that at least I've now experienced what is called real love. My dad is going to be very happy wherever he is. The kind of send-off will be fitting. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.